Hey everybody, Peter Joseph here. I apologize for not being able to be there in person, first of all. And I also apologize for the fact that I've had to make this recorded video just moments ago because there's a technical issue with the internet in my region. Very unfortunate timing. Anyway, I wasn't planning on a formal talk today, but I wanted to touch upon some notable developments as far as what's happening with TZM Global, the NPO, and so on. As many know, the NPO was started as a US-based nonprofit to help better fund certain areas of the movement, and we've been slowly getting more support, which has been good to see, which has helped us do new projects, new infrastructure. For example, the Zeitgeist Movement's global website has been completely redesigned with a new back-end infrastructure to allow for community functionality and other things that the prior site did not have. This has been a great development. Still under development, so there are still some bugs in there if you guys check out the site. But I want to thank Jason Lord here in Los Angeles for spearheading this. So we've had a good development there, and it's going to spread ideally into the next stage of our web infrastructure to chapters, to a kind of template-based system where placeholder chapters are being put across the world, susceptible to search engine findings region by region, which will allow for more people to easily create chapters because they will find these placeholders with contact information right there in their language, in their region. So that's another development that will be extending once we get a handle on the global website issue and the bugs are worked out and so on. You know, speaking of chapters, and that's kind of why I've alluded into this, is that it's a big issue at this point. And for those that coordinate chapters, you know it's not an easy task to keep effective communication and projects going in your area. And I think what's been missing from all of this is sort of a lack of chapter support across the global connection, the global network, because I think it's required for small chapters that begin with maybe 5 or 6 people. It's required that there's a lot of support coming from the community, and I want to plant that seed with all of you. Say a chapter begins with 4 or 5 people. In order to keep that group functioning, we have to show support for all of them, which is part of what TZM Global is trying to figure out the best ways to do. And we're also very open to suggestions. If anyone would like to contact the NPO directly, you can at npo@thezeitgeistmovement.org, or you can go through the contact form on the website, which will be going to similar places, and we'd find it as well. So this is a period of time for TZM after an amazing 10 years. 10 years, people. That's incredible. The fact that this institution has survived as it has, with a loss of infighting, with new inspirations, with a culture surrounding us that seems to be more prepared for this type of information than they were, say, 10 years ago. This is an amazing place to be. So I would like to just reemphasize that there is so much in development and there's a deep need for communication and new ideas. Those problems, those things that haven't worked in TZM, this is the time to address them and make the changes relevant and to create a new communicative and galvanizing machine out there to get more people informed about what needs to happen in this world to get us on the right track. We'll say one final thing, in these communicative developments, the TZM Global podcast, which has been around for years but went on hiatus for a while, I was doing this podcast, of course, at the very beginning, started in 2009. Then we started rotating people, and multilingual attributes came into play. Now we have an English podcast that's of a roundtable format. Some may have seen it. We had the first episode of it dealing with the subject of geopolitics. And we're going to continue expanding those subjects and focus with different people in a roundtable, again, type of discussion. And there is in this programming to have more communication with chapter coordinators across the world, where a part of each podcast will be reflecting on what's happening, Skyping through to people like, say, that are coordinating in TZM-Ukraine, and so on. To again bridge that needed connection between chapters to really make people feel holistically involved in the movement. And another issue that has been developing is a dedicated writing team possibility. We have had the blog for years, some may remember, which is being revised now and has been reincorporated into the new website with different parameters. But we'd like to pull out of those of you that feel the talent to write, that are inspired to write, pull out a core team of international writers that can not only operate multilingually in some cases, but also be able to focus on core global issues in your region or global issues that everyone should be aware of. So that's something else to keep an eye out for, a dedicated writing team of perhaps, well, the number could grow, but perhaps 5 or 6 people that contribute a 500-word article to the movement, perhaps once a week. And then we use social media syndication. We work to promote this as a way to introduce people to the core of our ideas. So lots of communicative things like that that are in development and discussion, that have been in discussion, frankly, for a long time, but now we're trying to finally get these things going. And once again, get this educational and galvanization machine in full force and keep TZM expanding. Because again, it's been an incredible 10 years. At any rate, I think that's all I have for the time being. I apologize for such a short presentation. Again, I apologize even more so for not being there. I was in Ukraine not too long ago, so it made this trip, unfortunately, very difficult to repeat, given I'm all the way on the west coast of the United States. But nevertheless, you guys have done a great job, and I look forward to seeing feedback from this event. And keep plugging away. Everyone should feel very proud of themselves and know that in parallel, we're all very appreciative in general of the kind of dedication that's been seen over the past number of years. It's a reciprocal appreciation. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Thank you very much.